Jackson, Mississippi Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba sounds off on organized effort to take resources from the city of Jackson. What does that even mean? What resources could they be taking from the city of Jackson? What type of Democrat mumbo jumbo is he speaking? We're going to break that down and more here on this morning's video. Thank you for tuning in to the Clay Edwards Show here on the Save JXN YouTube channel. We hadn't made a dedicated video in a couple of days. We've just been doing our live streams and breaking those down. So I appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to check out the Clay Edwards Show live right here, wherever you're watching this video. Every morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., we are streaming live to Facebook, YouTube, and X at Save JXN. We're also on Rumble. Just search Clay Edwards Show. Appreciate you guys sharing all that. Real quick, buy my shirt, buyfafo.com. We also have the pink ribbon breast cancer awareness shirts now available. I'm actually picking them up today. So if you pre-ordered, they'll be shipping out. If you want to order, they'll be ready to ship immediately. And I will be out at Burgers Blues Barbecue in person Wednesday night in Brandon with a load, selling them at our Cordless Corner event. And the people from the Mississippi American Cancer Society chapter will be there live in person. This is legit. Ain't no BS. We're donating $10 of every shirt to their fundraiser. So grab you one. They will be a collector's item. When they're gone, they're gone. I got 100 of them printed, and that's it. Unless we sell them all and you want to order another 100. So I foresee there only being 100 of them sold. So grab one. There'll be a collector's item of sort. Appreciate you. All right, let's get into the story here. Mayor sounds off on organized effort to take resources from the city of Jackson. Of course, in my mind, the first thing I hear is they mad because the state is tired of letting them run shit all the way into the ground and doing nothing to keep it up. And then just cry and the state having to pay to fix it because the city screwed it up because none of them know what they're doing. But what do I know? I only lived there for 40 plus years, 45 plus years. Jackson Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba says one thing will improve the city's relationship with the state: stop taking the city's resources. On Monday, and I mean, we're talking about a guy that's most likely, allegedly, about to go to jail, prison here. There's so much that I'm going to be able to tell you all about this guy at some point. Anyway, he's just making his little last stand. On Monday, the mayor responded to a reporter's questions regarding how he could improve Jackson's relationship with state leaders. Now, I'm not going to play the whole live video there. Y'all can go watch it if you want to. Lumumba said, he's tired of being diplomatic. He's tired, boss. But he won't stand by while the state tries to take over parts of the city, like the Jackson-Medgar Wiley Evers International Airport, Smithville Stadium, and the water system. Am I supposed to say, yeah, come on in and take it? Take the resources from us, he asked. When you're trying to take our airport, am I in some way oppositional because I say, listen, let's not do that. This is a resource for the city, and we want it to work on our behalf. Now, you're talking about the dude that flies out of that sun gun every other week, every week. Somebody I know is in that airport every week, and his ass is flying out to Atlanta every week. Anyway, y'all know that Atlanta, fun fact, Atlanta is the #1 per capita city in America for gay black trans men. I'm just saying, it's a fun fact. Quote, when you're trying to take over our water system and you've done nothing to support it, it's not because I'm in some way unreasonable or unwilling to work with the state. It's because there is what appears to be an organized effort to take resources from the city of Jackson. Did he just say, because you're trying to take our water system and you've done nothing to support it? I tend to remember a time where the whole water system failed because of this jackass, because of a crisis of incompetence, as Governor Tate Reeves said. And it was the governor and the state of Mississippi that had to step in and fix their problem, their self-inflicted problem. For 30 years, they love to say this, kicking the can down the road. because they never thought it was going to break on them. Just always hoped that it got to the next mayor, and it finally broke with the dumbest one they could have possibly ever elected. I can't wait for the day he's not mayor anymore. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Continuing. Lumumba's comments come just days after the city filed a suit against the city. I'm sorry. Lumumba's comments come just days after the city filed suit against Attorney General Lynn Fitch to block her efforts to enforce a reverter clause to retake the property where Smithville Stadium is located. Jackson bought the property some 80 years ago. However, the deed to the acreage includes a provision that would allow the state to retake the land if it is not used for the park's related purpose. As you know, we broke that story right here on this very YouTube channel. The city, meanwhile, is still involved in more than an 8-year-old lawsuit filed by airport officials to block the state takeover of the Medgar's Wiley Evers International Airport. That's a mouthful. And working to prevent a future state takeover of Jackson's water system, which is now under federal receivership. These folks can't run anything. Have y'all been to the airport lately? I'm just curious. Have you been to the airport lately? The escalators don't work. There's doors ripped off the bathroom hinges. It's a crap show. The gift shop, as soon as you land, you know what they're selling at the gift shop? Biden-Harris shirts at the gift shop at the airport. I'll pull that up on Facebook before I get out of here and show you. Quote, "We are diplomatic, but we're as diplomatic as our options are when you tell us that we're not going to get any legislation passed until we give up our airport," he said. And that's not the city being oppositional. That's what I don't do. I don't drop or release our values in the process of negotiations. Who writes this shit for him? The mayor's statements also appear to be a swipe at State Senator John Horn, who jumped into the mayor's race last week, questioning how others who have the ability now would improve the city's relationship with the state. Does that mean that you give up the resource of the city of Jackson? Is that your way of an olive branch? Is that your way of building a better relationship? And if it is, then you should not work for us, because we should not have to relinquish every resource as our values of our value, or every resource or our values in that process. He speaks in word salad like Kamala Harris does. It's difficult to read because you just don't anticipate that many useless words being back to back to back to back. John Horn was not immediately available for comment, according to WLBT. The Lumumba administration has been at odds with the state for years, in part over the state's attempt to take over the Jackson-Evers Wiley International Airport, which began before he was in office. The mayor has also been a critic of state officials for using the airport as leverage against the city. During a mayoral debate at the height of the 2021 water crisis, Lumumba said Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann agreed to help the city with infrastructure if the city would hand over the airport. Should have done it. Quote, "I sat down with the lieutenant governor to talk about Jackson's infrastructure problem. We had a conversation that lasted about an hour and a half, and he asked everyone to leave the room only to say, 'Mayor, I need you to give me my airport, and I look at it for about $30 million, Lumumba said. Not only am I supposed to be dumb, but I'm also supposed to be cheap. Well, I think you're both. And according to the alleged amount of money you took, alleged, of course, for the downtown convention center hotel, I'd say you're real cheap. You're going to allegedly catch a felony and go to prison over less than 150 grand or so. Allegedly, of course. Lawmakers approved legislation to take over the airport back in 2016. Under that measure, the Jackson Municipal Airport Authority would be replaced by a new board made up of city, state, and county appointees, and God knows they could not be any worse than the bags of wind that are currently on the airport authority. What an absolute joke the airport has turned into here, just like the city of Jackson. So it's a damn shame. JMAA filed suit in U.S. District Court to challenge the law. That case is again before the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court, the same court that ruled earlier this year that two of the city's claims were moot because none of the original interveners were still on the JMMA board. As for infrastructure, the mayor has been critical for years at the state's failure to provide Jackson assistance with its water system. It is not the state's job. You collect water bills. Y'all screwed that up. Your water bills pay for your water infrastructure. Y'all screwed that up just like you do everything else, just like you did the garbage contract. You're a bunch of free land, free the people idiots. You picked Jackson, Mississippi when your folks moved down here from Detroit back in the day because you said, where are the dumbest Democrats in the country? Somebody in the group said, Jackson, Mississippi. And y'all came right on down here and start spoon feeding them the racism BS. And to their credit, they ate it right up. And they still are to this day. Because all you got to do to continue to win re-election in Jackson, Mississippi is just be 17% more black than your opponent is. Hate Republicans just 17% more. Blame everything on white flight and racism just 17% more than your opponent. And they'll continue to vote for you. Continuing, state leaders have long denied this fact, with Governor Tate Reeves saying in 2022 that the state had given Jackson some $200 million for water and sewer work. Our analysis showed the amounts came in the form of loans, Jackson's 1% sales tax revenue, and direct allocations sent to the state from the federal government. Several civil rights groups requested the EPA conduct a civil rights investigation to the state for failing to invest in Jackson's water system. In May, the Mississippi State Department of Health was cleared by the agency's Office of External Civil Rights Compliance. What that means is it was no racisms involved, so these black for a living jackasses have no one to blame but themselves. However, the EPA did release an audit in May showing that the Mississippi State Department of Health could have done more to help prevent the city's water crisis, including offering Jackson and other disadvantaged cities lower interest rates, loan forgiveness subsidies, and technical assistance with state revolving fund loans. The MSDH also was cited for failing to report Jackson's water issues that led to the 2022 system failure. Had they, it would have been called racisms. This has been the Clay Edwards Show. Guys, don't forget this Saturday, get out to the city of Pearl, somewhere that has none of these problems, and enjoy Oktoberfest and Gumbo Festival. It's this Friday, Pearl City Park. Starts at 10 a.m. I'm sorry, this Saturday. Pearl City Park starts at 10 a.m. There's going to be beer, music, food, vendors, a car show, and a kid zone, as well as the Gumbo Festival. Check this out, man. I talked to the folks today. As of this morning, there are only 2 teams that signed up. The top 3 prizes are for $1,500, $1,000, and $750. You could literally sign up, and if nobody else signs up, you can win at least $750. Go sign up if you can cook some gumbo. First place, $1,500. Second place, $1,000. Third place, $750. The most spirited booth is going to get $250. The Main Street Pearl favorite gets $500. You could realistically win $2,250 if you got your crap together. I'll be out there live about 1 p.m. after my morning sports show over at McBee's. Me and Sean Yurkron will be there. Come join us. It's going to be a good old time. They just got through redoing Pearl City Park. It looks phenomenal. Going to be good times. I can't wait. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. And I will see you guys on the radio. This has been the Clay Edwards Show. Be sure to check out my shirts. Buyfafo.com. Hoodies now available in stock as well.